Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We're Mums in Melanin. My name's Takoni.
I'm Takumbo.
I'm Ayola.
And I'm Debbie.
Before we go anywhere, guys, click subscribe now. If you haven't subscribed with us already, listen, we love and appreciate your support and we need more. We need more. Continue to support us and we've got great content for you.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about nursery, questions to ask through nursery. What questions? I know you've seen some nurseries recently.
Yeah. So I went to view a nursery last week and I was just sort of pulling my questions together. I think for me, I'm always interested to know where they sleep and how often they change the sheets. And do the kids have their own sheets? I just feel like those kind of things are important. Like, because some nurseries do it better than others. Do you know what I mean? Some nurseries say they wash the sheets twice a week and it's in like a Ziploc bag and it's got the child's name on it. Okay. Some nurseries, they can't really clarify. Yeah, they can't really clarify. Because your child may dribble, the next nap, someone else coming dribbling on the same sheet. We need to know.
Nurseries are nasty.
I know, but please.
If
That means they share toys.
It's going to be nasty, but let's make it as clear. Do you know what I mean? As clean as possible. If it's going to get nasty anyway. Do you know what I mean? Where do they sleep? Do they have the cots? Is it mats on the floor? Is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they packed away right after nap time? Are they always out? The sleeping arrangements for me, I'm always sort of
big on.
Yes, I'm always interested in that. Yeah, and then also I always want to know like the maximum number of kids that are going to be in the room. That gives you a gauge. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it could just be like a regular bedroom and they're going to have 26 kids in there. Like my son was in another nursery and we just came to collect him one day and there were bare kids. It's a question that we didn't ask. There were bare kids. Fair enough, they had a lot of space, but there was like 48 kids.
Wow, that's a lot of children.
Guys! There were,
but was there space between them?
There were, okay, so it's basically like 2 classrooms and an outdoor space.
Yeah.
But it was open. The 2 classrooms have a divider that opens.
Okay.
So it's 48.
Was it really 48?
Guys,
Let me know 48.
and let me add to it, yeah. When you're a certain, the ratio at first is like 1 to 4, isn't it? Or 1 to 3, 1 to 4, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you get to a certain age where it's 1 to 8.
Yeah.
So for 48, 1 to 8.
I think when
There's
they're
like
in the
what?
last stage of nursery, what's that?
Yeah.
Last class preschool. Yeah, is it preschool? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's what? That's 6 staff for 48 kids.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
enough.
It's not.
It's not
48
enough.
3-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's not enough. So I think, like, just sort of gauging how many. Like, right now, Judah's in the nursery and it's just so nice and small. They have a good ratio of staff and it's just small. Like, someone can really cater to your child and teach your child. When it's too many kids, it just becomes, even if you've got enough staff, it's just too much going on. You can't even see who kicked who, what happened there.
Yeah.
So I think, how many kids do you have in on average day? Do you know what I mean? Like, how are they sleeping? And that's what I've got for now. Anybody else?
It's been a while since I've gone to look at a nursery. But off the top of my head, things that I was really interested in knowing were like the number one is they had cameras. So when Isaiah was in nursery, they had CCTV and that kind of set the standard for me because actually when you're telling me stories, I need to be able to visualize what's going on. That's just the type of person I am anyway. So I ask a lot of questions. But having the cameras there to be like, oh no, this is what happened and look, I'll show you. Like it kind of just makes it. I see my child. You know when you know your child's facial expressions. Yeah. So you can see when they're happy, when they're not looking so great, and it's nice to see that they're on the ball.
Yeah.
So after that was a question I always asked. Do you have CCTV? How do you document what happens during the day? Also, whether they use an online app to let you know about
update you.
You know, like some nurseries are still writing it down on paper.
Facts. Scrapbooking. And at the end of the year, you take the scrapbook home.
Because I know admin is long. So that you're dealing with however many children you have allocated to you as their key worker, and then at the end of the day having to write, you're not writing a true story. Oh, Judah ate an apple today. Judah ate a banana. What are we talking about? First of all, how about Judah doesn't even like apples? You know, like it's becoming you're making this up.
Yeah.
So I like to, Kiana, I've got too many kids. Amara's nursery used Tapestry.
Yeah,
and it's great. Like I upload on her birthday. I uploaded pictures from her birthday party. They commented, and then they upload her making this, playing with the chicks. Can you go? So I know when she comes home and tells me stories, which stories are true, which stories are not true, because I see the pictures. It's great. Another thing that I generally ask is what they're being taught. I'm big on, we're here for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you for them to play. If they were going to play, they can do it at home. What like, is there a curriculum for these children? Obviously they're very young and they learn through play. That's what they'd be saying to us, isn't it? But what type of playing are you doing? Are you playing with counters? Are you playing with Play-Doh? You're developing their motor skills. Like, I need to know what's happening, so at least I can mimic it at home, things like that. Also, do you have a kitchen on site?
Yes.
Do you order in? Like, what's the food situation like? And how do you deal with children that are quite fussy with food?
That's what I was going to go.
Because I have fussy children. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So if my child doesn't eat the oranges and apples, do you have other fruits available? You know, do you have breads? What type of breads do you have? We don't eat white bread. Do you have, you know, like, just gauging what they have, and also in that you can kind of gauge what they're willing to do. So some places will be like, no, sorry, we don't have that, but other places will be like, oh, we didn't think of that, no, we don't have that, but we're happy to do then you can kind of, you know, see where they're at as a nursery and etc. etc. So those are some. Another thing for me personally, nice for coming back to me now. I just need to know that there's enough children that look like my child. Reason being, when I took Isaiah to nursery, he was the only black boy. He was the only black child, to be fair, in his class. And I didn't like it, but I really liked the nursery. I really liked the nursery. And I think they sensed my apprehension, because they were very much like, Mum, he'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. And his dad was like, listen, like, you like the nursery, let's just give it a try, isn't it? Like, but I want my child, I always want my child to be in an environment that they can see someone else that looks like them. And they can, whether that be in the staff or the children that they're playing with. And wider society, there's many colours of people, so let that be reflected in the everyday situation that they're in. As time went on, that happened, so it was great. But I generally that's my personal preference anyway. I want my child to feel like at least there's another person that looks like me. I'm not the only one here by myself. There's no reason for me to be feeling singled out. I just don't want to put my child in that situation.
That's really important to me.
It is,
well. Cleanliness.
Big one.
I mean, if I look around and everything's cluttered and just piled up here, I'm just not gonna. No. There needs to be some sort of like space, like even if you don't have an outdoor space. Because some nursery they're like converted houses, so they
no, you need an outdoor space, a garden. No,
even if they don't,
they go outside twice a day.
I know most places do now, but even if they don't, and the inside is spacious enough, like if it's in like a hall or something, I don't know. I'm just, you know, but. If it looks like they deal with the space they have very well, then I'm fine with that, isn't it? What else?
I think oh, go on.
No, I was just going to say with Ofsted ratings.
I think, of course.
I was always a bit unsure about whether or not I felt it was that important. You know, it's one day, everyone makes sure their nursery is perfect for the day, and then obviously those who are failing it, it's like, why have you failed when you knew they were coming?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And there was a particular nursery that I took Micaiah to, and I went there to go and see it because they had the days I needed, and there was several reasons why I went there, but the Ofsted rating was not great. It was, what's the second from the lowest?
Good. Requires improvement. Satisfactory.
Satisfactory.
Requires improvement. That's what it was.
That's ridiculous.
And so I went there and I'm like, okay, why have you got this as Ofsted rating? And she basically explained about how they've had a high turnover of staff, and so it's like people are constantly learning things. It's just not great in it, because people aren't really, you know, as soon as you learn the policy, someone else is new and they're just trying to understand this and that. But because she got a new manager, she's now had to sit in stuff for XYZ, so they're prepared for the next one, and that's the main reason. Now on the actual report, you should read these reports to actually understand as well. That kind of tallied up anyway, so it was fine. So I thought, okay, we went, like, that nursery was okay. And went to the nursery. If you guys don't know, this is where my child's hair got came wrong. Go back in the videos and find it. But then you actually come to realise why it's actually important, because come to think of it, I'm very sure that one that was outstanding would not be came on in his hair. They may have like you said about the camera footage, because then I was wondering, I was like, I know my child don't like his hair touched, so I know he must have been distressed, but you're telling me no, he was fine. If there was camera footage, I would then be able to prove, was he fine or was he not fine? So it is actually important to, not a lot of nurseries like doing the camera thing because they're children and you're not meant to watch other kids, but I do think if you can find a nursery that does, it's just for your peace of mind, because things happen at nursery. They're going to fall down, they're going to bang their head, there's so many things that are going to happen.
This is Ezekiel.
And for their own safety as well, for their own.
This is Ezekiel, like what? was it 2 weeks, up to 2 weeks now, or a week and a bit, he banged his head at nursery. This guy had blood like all over his
cut
top.
was deep.
You saw it, yeah. And I don't think of CCTV footage. Like, it's not something I thought that nurseries even do, and it's something not something I asked. But obviously, their thing was, they think it was either the radiator or the the edge of the window. They couldn't say which one. Like, he was helping around that area. It's like in the same kind of like place. But
is this the one key worker to 8 kids, or is this 1 to 3?
No, he's still young enough.
He's 3 to 4.
Oh, it's 1 to 8.
So yeah, 1 to 8. Yeah. So yeah, like that's a good point, like with the CCTV, because then they can show me.
In private nurseries, not so much school
nurseries.
But even a lot of private nurseries don't have it. It just depends.
Everyone I went to,
the private nursery that kids used to go to didn't have it. Yeah. That's why I've not known that it's a thing.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that with regards to Ofsted, don't just read the current report. Let's take a trip down memory lane.
Look how
let's see where they've come from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my kids have been in two nurseries that the Ofsted was good and it looked good, and the Ofsted came the next time 3 years later while they were there, and it became inadequate, and I had to take them out. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely going to look back, and also how recent was the Ofsted? I know the nurses can't control it, how often they come, but was it a long time ago? Was it recently? All of those just sort of paint a picture. It's never perfect, you can never really know, but it just helps to kind of give you more insight.
But in you saying that, you're right, because it's coming back to me now. The last year requires improvement. The year that he went was satisfactory, so I was like, okay, something's getting better. But then again, the experience he had there wasn't great. So it's better to just try and go for outstanding
experience.
You got his hair came rolled?
He got his hair came rolled.
Sorry.
There was an incident where he banged his head.
Accidents,
It was profuse, it was bleeding bad. Where did he bang it on the brick wall? How? Like, and then again, one thing for me, once I left that nursery, because of course I left, I care about my child. I obviously left and moved them over. I now had to assess. I had to assess when I go into new schools their outdoor area and their health and safety and sharp corners. Because if in a house where I have a child, I'm baby proofing things. Why in the nursery isn't it baby proof? Why are children playing with in an environment where there's sharp corners to brick walls?
This is it.
Unfortunately, the experience kind of taught me more what to look for. But this is why information is key, because then you know what to look for. You may not think about the corners and the sharp tables, but actually it's very important. And that's why I don't like small nurseries. If I see a nursery in a small room, even if it's only 6 kids, 5 kids, I'm not interested, because children get very restless in a small space, and I just feel like it's more prone for an accident to happen. So for me, please let it be as airy and bright and big as possible.
Another thing I look for as well, or I ask about, is their discipline policy.
Yes.
How they deal with discipline, because some nurseries, sorry, your child kicks my child, you need to leave the nursery. Should we? That's it. One kick like this, but kids be kicking each other all the time. And it's just
it's impossible to know.
But at the same time, on the other end of that, sorry, I hate when like the teacher tells you,
someone's bit your kid.
Micaiah has been bitten today by one of the children, but he's okay with giving him a cold dress thing and all the rest of it. You want to know who's that kid?
They can't tell you.
Because then the next day, because naturally as a parent, you want to protect your child. These children are so young, you can't say don't play with Tom because Tom is biting you too much. Do you know what I mean? So you expect Tom thinks you're one dairy milk, he enjoys you too much. Do you know what I mean? But you expect the staff to kind of curb the children, but they actually don't do that.
But they allow them.
You expect them to distance them, they don't do that.
I got a phone
They don't.
call.
They speak to the parent of the child who's biting, but they don't separate the children.
No, but normally they'll tell the kid, no, gentle.
If it's 1
and
to
they
8,
learn.
they're not.
No, 1 to 8. You know, you're 3 years old. You're a big kid biting. Do you know what I mean?
Even that gentle, it doesn't. It's not.
Listen.
My child is the predator. They're biting him like steak on a Sunday. What's happening? Sorry, guys. My child is he's not even a point in his name, but the point is, my child is a victim here. Like, he's the one being bitten.
But
so you constantly telling me, you're saying, oh, don't worry, we have it in hand, or we're speaking to the child. Sometimes it's actually not enough. Like, I do feel like there needs to be something that's done, like, than just telling the parent, oh, they're biting, because sometimes there's too much grace that's given. I understand that you should kick and be kicked out, but at the same time,
then again,
there needs to be a limit.
They're in the situation. So I received a phone call the other day, and the teacher was like, oh, Mum, another child got really excited and pushed Amara, and Amara fell down, and she was really upset, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool. So when I spoke to her, I said, you're this excited that you're talking of what we're talking about, she's like, no, it's fine. You know, like some kids, they just get so overstimulated and then they just and it's not intentional, it's not aggressive, it's not mean. They just don't know how to control their emotions or whatever you want to call it. That could be the situation. It could be that Alex is every time getting too excited and biting or doing whatever, and that's it.
That's the point. So, but what's the plan for Alex? We can't keep telling Alex the same thing.
No,
so Alex probably needs to leave.
So
I'm not talking about once or twice, guys. I'm not saying like, it happened today, it happened tomorrow.
Is it malicious though? Is he?
It's not malicious,
guys. If it keeps happening and it keeps happening to your child, there's a problem.
Alex hasn't learned that
there's a problem.
Another
But
child.
what when I went to the nursery the other day, I asked them about discipline, and what she mentioned, she's like, there's always a trigger. So what they'll look for is what's triggering this child. What's happening right before Alex keeps biting? Like, what is it? Is he tired? Is he this? Is he that? It's not just from nowhere. Like, what is it? And they've got CCTV. So they'll be looking to see, okay,
so
what was it?
Of finding out what was it, why can't you separate the children though?
Maybe they'll divert Alex another way.
Yeah.
But if Alex and
it doesn't really
Makaya are really good friends and they really enjoy playing together and genuinely they play well together, but in some instances Alex gets too overexcited and starts biting, then
if it's once or twice, guys,
I get it though. I get it.
Try and remember, like, when your little baby's coming home with bites every day.
Nice,
like, it's actually not okay. If it's once or twice, we can at least say, okay, let's start watching it. If it starts happening more than that, you need to look into this. And if you can't deal with it, they need to move on. That's just it. Like, your child just can't be the one that's being bitten and up until somebody learns. It's just not right. They're so young. They're babies. I do think that I have witnessed being in the nursery before, and I witnessed one child remove their dummy and give it to the other child, and the other child put it in their mouth, and not a single member of staff moved. And I was like, because obviously it's very new to me, I was like alarmed, and she was like, oh, you know, babies, they're always swapping and changing things.
But at the point,
it was a red flag.
But at the point the other child's already put it in their mouth, what can you do?
Why do you not care that they're doing this? Like, should you not try to avoid? Obviously, you can't make every child not do it, but should you not try?
They'll spend their day policing the kids all day long. You dropped this. Even me now, with Roman, I feel like if you drop something and picked it up, I would have been a bit more cautious. Now, if Judah drops something, pick it up, I actually don't care.
They're brothers.
No, I'm not talking about brothers. You drop something on my floor. If you drop your chicken in my kitchen, you can pick it up, I actually don't care.
I get
At this point, with Roman, I may be like, I may rinse it, I may do it. At this point, I'm just like, bro, the floor's been cleaned. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of like...
But this is saliva to saliva, babe.
Yeah, it's
my babies are very...
But they do something with toys.
Your child is coming home with a cold. When they say you send your child to nursery and they come home sick.
But that's what I'm saying. Should they not have a problem with this? Because the point is, the nursery thing is normal.
The problem from 8 a.m.
That's what I'm saying. All day long,
they'll be cleaning behind the children.
They'll
be running behind cleaning them
instead of playing all the toys or doing.
They're not playing much game. They're playing with the block. No one's really playing much games.
But even that block, you have to now run behind the child to now clean that block before the next child comes. Remember, they're all playing together.
Because I don't know, I get what you're saying, but it is a lot. It's a lot. Like, I was gagging. I was very...
She said gagging. This girl said she was gagging.
I was.
At the nursery.
It was just...
Oh yeah, you can't bring me dummy now. Let her gag here for now. Come and transfer dummy with me. Look at my head.
The thing is... I don't know if it's because it's new, innit? Like, obviously, like I said, it was my first experience. But for me... before your child goes to nursery, they're the baby that you protect everything, you sterilize everything.
You go and put someone else's saliva inside.
And nobody flinches. It just feels like an insult. Maybe this baby that
right, contaminated.
Like, you know, like there's a bit of mucus and now has a bit of salt.
Guys, moving on. Also, it's good to inquire about waiting lists. Because we can all assume that the nurseries are open and available to us. It's because some nurseries, for when people have the baby or they're pregnant, you're already putting your name on the list. You're waiting a year, 2 years. So it's good to kind of know. Because I called one nursery and they're like, we've got a year's waiting list. I was like, okay, bye. Then I called the other nursery. They're like, we've got a bit of space, but hurry up. And
I think
I
it's
came to visit them.
early though, because those are really good nurseries that tend to have that.
Exactly. They're the ones that have mindfulness on Tuesday, yoga on Wednesday, French on Friday, on this, on that. They've always got things going on.
In my head, this is the greatest thing ever. Those babies can be stretching.
Listen,
they can.
Listen, my boy, they take him to gym tots. He's in the gym. He's hanging on those things. Makai said he saw him hanging on. He's hanging on the roly poly. He loves all that kind of stuff. They be doing. It's nice when nurseries do trips and activities.
Yes.
If you can find
about that as well. If they do
trips and activities.
Ask about that. The nursery hours. Because not all nursery hours go as far as you need them. Some of them end at 6 and you get to work from
Whether
like
they
to the
do
nursery
term
by
time
that
as
time.
well.
Yeah.
If you have older
Yeah.
child, it works.
Term
well
time
then.
may work, yeah.
Yeah.
What else is there?
I think we covered it, guys.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, of course, be showing them.
I hope you guys found this episode useful. If you have any questions, anything that you think that we've missed out, share it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.